Hello, hello. This is Kristina, your host today. This is new episode of KSM Podcast, Growing Business Online with Kristina. And today is such a pleasure for me to have my special guest speaker, Ladislav Smrtnik. Ladislav, welcome to the new episode of KSM Podcast.
Thank you very much. Greetings to you and to your audience.
Yeah, I'm super happy to have you today. And you were a guest speaker, twice for now. But can you introduce yourself? Just share with us who you are, what you do, and I will have a lot of questions for you today. But to say you are true freedom coach
Yeah.
of human potential, just for our audience.
So I'm a transformative coach and inner well-being specialist. I am focusing on helping people in achieving mental well-being, balance in their life, uh, which might be also work-life balance, and very special tapping into their human potential, what they are capable of, which I'm bringing for individuals, but also for professionals in a leading positions where they can tap into their potential and find their what I'm calling leadership nature and bring into their professional environment.
That's fantastic,
So
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, and you're such amazing coach. I know that. I work with you, so you worked with me, and we still work. So yeah, that's I know how you're a coach and what you do. And can you share with us about your previous job, because before you start your coaching journey, this is like and our point of our podcast is just to spread the word about, yeah, for audience who wanted to start their own business, and if they come and if they were working corporate or however. So for our audience, I would love to hear more about your background, how did you start your coaching journey?
That's very interesting because I was always leaning to more entrepreneurial or a business activities. So I was always looking more like in this direction rather than getting a job and working in that environment. So for me, when I went in, I flipped into coaching just because in the business area where I was in that time, I was just thinking that it will be a great tool to put into my skills and use it where I was working. But I kind of truly fell in love into the coaching, fell in love in the helping people, and uh, to my own surprise, and also it was a pleasure to find out that I'm gifted in this area helping people, and I'm having great results with my clients. So uh, I am myself very humble to the point where I see that this is helping people, and I'm very happy about that. So so this is how I came to coaching. Never looked back.
Yeah, and I'm very happy to have you today in my podcast, because in my you were a guest speaker, and I know how to when you are a coach, you wanted to help your clients, you wanted to in some way transform their life.
Mm. That
Is
the you know you can only do as much as you can. And if the client is open to transform their life, then I can help them. If they are stuck somewhere where, okay, I'm in the position that I know, right, and I don't need help, then of course I cannot help. The client have to be open to see something new, and then of course I can help. So this is how it works.
Yeah, and who do you mostly work? Who are your clients mostly? Who do you help? mostly with your coaching?
I have two categories. One category is simple individuals who are struggling mentally. They need some uh, help with mental well-being. Uh, so this is one category. Then it's professionals who also in their professional positions. Of course, it's great to have the mental well-being, mental balance, but also who wants to bring some abilities into their professional lives. So this is another category where I'm focusing more on professionals. And I actually love to work with both categories. So
Yeah, that's
it's
fantastic. And I
amazing.
know how I worked with you when you worked with me in a coaching, and I know where I was and where I'm now. So I'm so excited with that because you helped me to uh, just to discover my potential more and more.
Mm,
And
mm,
thankful to
mm,
you in some way. We had a coaching part maybe well, now 2 years a year ago. I
mm,
can see much more self-confident. I can see much more what I didn't see before I start working with you. When you and
mm,
as a coach, I really it's a pleasure working with you. Just like because you just helped me a lot, and
mm.
we are still in a coaching mode. So this is amazing. And you mentioned that you have, I know that you have run a few projects. You have True Freedom Coach website or project. So can you share with our audience what is actually now what you are mostly focused on in your
Uh,
coaching
yeah,
business?
you're right. I'm running actually three projects together. One is through Freedom Coach, which is my baseline where I'm helping the individuals with mental well-being, resilience, overcome stress, anxiety, relationship problems, career problems, decision making, and so on. So this is more focused on individuals. And then I'm running a coaching group, which is then focused on helping people find a more fulfilling, more joyful life, more purposeful life. That means for people who are burned out, who are not happy in their life, who are looking how to bring joy, how to bring aliveness, happiness into their lives. And and then I have the a third project, which is under the brand new leadership, where I'm focused truly on professionals, leadership, uh, development, executive coaching, helping leaders and professionals to again gain the mental well-being, mental balance, and tap into their potential. Where can they bring the the abilities into the professional environment, to to teams, into the businesses, and bring the results in their areas.
And
So
I
this is
really like that leadership program. What you're
Mhm.
talking now, yeah, this is
Mm.
lovely, and I know that you work a lot, and try to figure out and be clear more in your coaching as much as I digital marketing coach. So just to try always to get new and to move forward in terms to help people with that. That's
Absolutely. And uh, uh, I believe many people can admit that we grow together. And as much as the client grow, of course, every case, every client is different. I'm focused on one-on-one coaching. I really like one-on-one work, and we really it's a development together, because this is something which I would say my coaching is completely different from any other coachings. And this is very important to understand also for the listeners, that when many times when we hear about coaching or leadership development, we just try to, or the coaches just try to model some behaviors. So, okay, this is some techniques, this is some uh, some models which they use uh, to, for the leader to copy it. But I'm working completely different. I don't work through the bringing the modeling into the coaching, but what I'm working with is to tap into their potential, so that they can bring out the leader what is already there, the abilities they already have. You see, as a kids, we were growing up and we didn't question ourselves. We had confidence to go, walk, fall, go, continue growing. But then we pick on different beliefs which are covering this nature which we already have. So my work is completely different. It's not about modeling things, but about bringing the qualities which the people already have in themselves, to bring them out, to learn how to work with them, to learn how to tap into the potential. So this is something completely different from the other coaching. And I would say this example, that when they asked Michelangelo how did he carve the statue of David, so he said, "Oh, it was easy. I just carve out what wasn't David."
Mm. And when you mention
So
you don't use modeling, so just because and when you tap into the human potential, because we're all different, we are all unique, and we cannot express ourselves by model and use unique modeling and to approach to the different people. We need to move inside of us and see, as you said, we're different and we can approach to that in our own way. I mean, who we are with our behavior, with our, with our body language, with our whatever we say that, and we're different. So, and I know that you need to give, and you are not just by accident true freedom coach, because you give people opportunity to express their freedom.
absolutely. And to more feel free, feel more authentic. Because when this is the thing, that with the modeling, it is not natural way. Of course, people can learn that. It's not about that. But it's like putting mask on the face. That, okay, now I'm taking this model or this thing, I'm putting mask on myself, and now I look like somebody who, and if I fake it long enough, it will become my nature,
But
so
sometimes it
speaking.
doesn't work.
But so, and the question is if the person actually feels authentic, if it feels that, yeah, it's me, you see. So rather of putting the masks, the process is completely different, actually taking out the masks. So it's not like learning process, it's more like unlearning process, taking out from the life what doesn't work anymore.
Yes, this is
And
so
bring
true.
out the authentic leader, the authenticity of the person, bring out the best what is dwelling in the people. So that's why, for example, the process is much more rapid, it's much faster to find what is already in you than try to fit some mask on. It's much more I would say transformative, because when the people find the true abilities capabilities they have, then it's life-changing, and not only in that one area, but holistically in many other areas, in relationships, in the personal life, in work, in career, in how I actually experience my life, how I enjoy my life. And then also it's lasting, because it's not the mask I try to fit, which falls sometimes. It's something I know is within me. It's innate. I'm actually born with this, but I just have to tap into it. So that's the huge difference between a coaching by modeling, by uh, systems and different models, and finding what is truly dwelling in the people and bringing that out. It's much more enjoyable, much more authentic, and much more powerful, actually. Works much better
Yes, and
than trying to.
when entrepreneurs work with you, and whoever, that potential is going natural, as in a natural way. And whatever you do, this is organic. You don't have to think about, okay, I was copied that model, and you can see that you're out of that model because you have your we change every single day. We change our brain, we change our getting more information, and whatever, maybe in that way. And I think that whenever we get back to the point, to the basics, we're always, when we do it naturally in our own way, and if you approach to that person to discover potential just as that person is naturally, and just this is a way how you can only just have a stronger relationship with yourself and where you wanted to go, and try to figure out in your business what you wanted to do. Because people, in terms of business, and if we go to the place and field of business, people try this, try that, and sometimes they cancel it, sometimes they don't want it to because they say, okay, I'm not good enough, I don't want to mention imposter syndrome, but however, you help them to run them through the process, to discover themselves as much as they want. And
Exactly.
if they didn't know their skills, because sometimes from my experience, when I talk to people, when I work with clients, and I discover many new skills from what I have as a person. If I didn't work with that way, I have never known. I was so shy in front of camera. And when I start challenge 21 day, I was creating four podcasts, hosted and created 15 videos. And after that is how my podcast start out. And this is something, when you don't know, you have skills, but maybe someone, your coach, can see that better that you can discover as one person.
It's like completely different viewpoint on life, because when something doesn't work in the mask model, I just try different mask, and it's the focus of what is out there, which can help me to feel certain way, to achieve certain goals. But with this shift, it's like you start to look different from different direction, completely different viewpoint, and you start to look into yourself. You start to look into your potential, what you are capable. And many times, I'm truly when you realize how powerful you are, uh, it's like almost humbling the feeling where you have to truly be humble to how amazing you are, you see. And and that's a completely different experience of life, completely different viewpoint on life. And finally, the people, instead of putting masks to fit somewhere, to achieve something, to achieve somebody else's goals, uh, they start to see who they truly are, and they start to live the life. The life starts to be more enjoyable, more adventures, more, you know, uh, joyful.
When you mentioned that, it's like that you wanted to be in some other shoes, and that shoes could be small, that bigger
Mm,
than you need your number of shoes. Because when we wanted to copy someone, it doesn't work. I mean, because everything what we do, we need to do it from inside out, inside of us.
mm,
We are unique. We're
yeah.
different all in this planet, on this
Mm,
planet. And what I wanted to, sometimes people just wanted to share some others' achievement, what they achieve,
mm,
but, and they don't, I don't know, I think that we all need to think about ourselves, think about how, what are our goals, what, and just to
mm,
celebrate it with own self. Because if I know how I'm skilled for something, or how I'm good in something, and see, as you mentioned, if you don't do it in that way, you don't see how you are, how amazing you are.
mm. And on the other hand, also, when you see that, you know, I don't want to radicalize this viewpoint. It's not about that. If you are inspired by somebody doing something, it's okay. But when you look inside, when you look into your potential, that's the only way that uh, you can discover something new, something which wasn't there before, and something which might truly fit only your nature, only you, and work perfectly for you. You see, many people who wrote how-to books, how to be a good leader, how to this, how to that, you know, there are so many books, so many different books about these topics. But most of the books are just after success, trying to put and figure it out how I actually manage that, and they try to make different reasons. Okay, this I did this, I did that, I did that, and if you do this, then you will be successful like me. But it doesn't work that way. It's like, and we were talking about this. It's like uh, when you want to fake a cold. If you don't have cold, you try to fake the symptoms. But the problem is that it's just the symptoms. And problem with that to fake the cold is, for first, it's not believable, and for second, it's completely difficult. So the process is completely different. The success first come from some nature, from some, putting your potential into the process, and then after somebody asks you how did you manage that, then you sit down and try to figure it out how you actually managed it. But it's not that way. The way is that you simply put your potential into the process in the moment. You get different aha moments, different insights, which actually let you from step to step to your success.
Yeah, that's
See?
so true, And sometimes, I was just one example, when you listen some original song from some
Mm,
singer who
mm,
recorded for the first time, and you
mm,
always remember that voice, that
mm,
color of that voice, how we can say it. But
mm,
when someone wanted to copy it,
mm,
it's not the same. It's like a first. Sometimes when singers, they can bring that to the table, and people, when they listen for the first time, and when that song first just deliver it in a
mm,
market, and we just know. But sometimes maybe the other, maybe it's not just too good example, but we're in
mm,
that connection. Once that person, it's like for all the time. When we listen, it's not that. When you heard for the first time, for the first person who recorded and sing it, that's that's good. And as you mentioned, we need to be who we are and discover ourselves. And Ladislav, I wanted to ask you, there are two questions. One is to share with us about a little bit about three principle coaching, because there are people who didn't hear about it for the first time. And also let us like simulate some kind of how do you work about that leadership coaching for leaders, what you are creating and doing at the moment.
When you hear three principle coaching, this is originating in a discovery or realization of enlightened person in 70s. Man with name Sydney Banks, who had a realization which completely simplified for him the viewpoint on psychology of a people. And I always like simplicity. When I can put things into simplicity, it's for me, it's many other things just drop from my shoulder, and I'm just I can feel free. I can feel the that's why also true freedom coach, because you experience the true freedom where your mind just drops what doesn't have really value, which we told before. It's very important, you see. And so this three principle viewpoint is putting three principles on which our experience is created, our psychological experience. Because when you look at it, life is simply a psychological experience of people. So to understand how the experience is created, to understand and to simplify it, to simplify the understanding, this three principle understanding is so far the simplest way how to look at it. And if somebody shows me more simpler, I will go for it. You see, if something can simplify it more and make much bigger impact in my life or life of my clients, I'm all for it. But so far, this is truly the simplest viewpoint on the human experience, human psychology, and human potential. So people can understand, people can put it into their life, people can simplify their life, people can drop what doesn't work for me anymore, like with the a clean consciousness, because till then we think that all the things we are doing, we are working on, we are thinking about are very important, and then it clutters our mind. But when we simplify things, when we simplify it to just the fundamental things, just to the principles of life, we are much more capable. And now I'm going also to the leadership development, because we start to be much more productive. We have much better vision. We have much better decision making. We have much deeper and meaningful connections with people when the clutter just drops down, and we realize that actual life and our potential is much more simpler than we thought before. And from the clutters, many times comes the stress, comes the anxiety, comes when people get stuck in one point, when they get overwhelmed, when because the belief that whatever is going in my mind is so much important. But when we go to the basics, when we go to the simplicity, many times our potential or what we are capable of just flow naturally to the surface. So even with this method, even as I was mentioning, so many advantages of this method to rather find your natural skills, a natural leadership in yourself, or just the mental well-being or mental health is much more effective and uh, much faster and much more natural than trying to fix something, trying to put some mask on, trying to, model something. And you see many times the greatest companies actually came with the ideas which were beyond the known box. So if company wants to grow, if company wants to make some innovations, or we have to think outside of the box. We have to bring something new to the table, and that's only when we look inside into our potential to bring something new, to tap into new ideas, new viewpoints on life, new experience of life, new experience of the product, of the service, for example, of the work with the team, and so on. So it's much faster, it's much simpler, it's much more natural, and it's much more enjoyable because the people are living their authenticity. That's the authenticity where we tap into our nature, who we truly are inside.
And this is the best way because we are not overwhelmed and overthinking how I can do this. Because when you put many things and overwhelm yourself and when you go from your nature and just you can, as you mentioned, you can see someone, you could be inspired by someone to do it, but you can do it on your own way with your capacity, with your knowledge, with your skills, and get back to the basics. And we need always to get back on basics, because this is the real freedom. We all like freedom. And when you are overwhelmed with something, you are stuck, you are nervous, so it's no easy way to. There are different people because we have a lot of information today. Just imagine that. And people wanted to try, people read many things.
That's
and
true.
they're overwhelmed and they just forget it about their as a human being. I want this, I want that, I read this, I read it, and what they're inspired with who they are inspired, for example. And Ladislav, I wanted to ask you, can you share with us like some kind of points? What do you mostly work in terms with leaders of companies? What do you discover? How do you help them? What are the main points? What you like, mental health, like to be better leader, however, just for leaders of company, maybe for business business owners, who will, small business owners, leaders who will listen to this podcast, which is so dedicated to them.
I would say that the biggest is truly just the understanding of how the experience is created. And it's not only for the leaders, but also for individuals.
Yeah, I know it's for individuals, but we completely mentioned that your project, which is actual now, like because of that. But you can
what I'm focused
mention
on
all of them.
is leaders who are stressed, who are overwhelmed, who have disbalanced work and life, and who experience insecurity or lack of confidence in some new projects, or when new leaders get a new position, they are insecure. So these are the most common.
And how do you
issues.
help them? How do you work with them? Like, can you simulate it? Just for people to know, how do you just uh, uh, how I can say that, help them to move from the point of insecurity or stress, or just.
If I would generalize it, I would say that for first is uh, the person is very important that they calm their mind and they are open to see something new. So this is first how I work with the people, just to declutter the mind, to calm down, to find the or to create the window, let's say, where I can see something new. And then I help the person to, for, of course, there is also some educational part where I help people understand the nature of the experience, how it's the experience created, and help them to tap into the understanding of why I feel as I feel, what it means for me, how
Did
I
you
can
have
go
some kind
around.
of, they go through some questions, let's say not homework, but they, if you work one-to-one, just they, as you mentioned, that windows, that they come there and you can tap into that to see that you can move them forward in a
Yeah.
way to
And
help them in that.
actually, the most of the work is done by the client, because I'm talking about the nature of the person. So in my work, I truly try to tap into their potential, their nature, so we can facilitate the change, the understanding, the new viewpoint, the new perspectives, which makes everything simpler, which makes everything manageable, which which makes the people manage anything what life throws at them, and uh, tap into the potential where they can, what they can bring into the environment, into the teams, into the company, uh, where they can truly understand that I would say not understand, but experience that it's much simpler than I thought about. You see?
Yes, it's much simpler. And how
It's quite difficult to explain it like this, but the process is it's very mysterious at the other point, because we start to experience something we never actually thought about before. We always think that, okay, it's the team which is not capable. It is this which, it is this problem. It is my work-life balance. It's this in that, it's that. And with this understanding, we start to really look on life from different viewpoint. And when we look at the different viewpoint from I would say, the right direction, then everything starts to be much easier, much simpler. We are much more capable. And many times it results in that we are much more productive by doing less.
Yes, and I agree with you, because
So,
when we are doing less, we are much more productive in terms to have much more time to cover other parts of our lives. Let's say walking, singing, listen to music, just to focus on other things, not just only we're busy in, and that busyness we sometimes lost in that as a human being.
yeah,
Because
that's
we have to think about our health, our mental health, our family, our private life. So we need to, today is like, okay, I'm busy, and when you ask someone, I don't have time, and to the
yeah.
end of the day, what happened?
Mm.
Am I exhausted? Am I? So as you said, if you just try to work less, but be much more productive and have extra 2 hours for yourself to read the book, to walk on the beach, to, it depends where you are in the world. So yeah, this is such an amazing, truly holistic approach to the human potential.
It is.
Yeah.
You see,
And
because when you believe that, okay, that is my problem, that is my problem, that is my problem, and you are looking only that direction, but you have a huge problem if that is not the problem. Because you just try to fix something, fix this, change that. And when you, for the first time, look the right direction where it's all created, suddenly you start to see the possibilities. Suddenly you start to see the, many times it also results in that before when I had problems, suddenly I don't have the problem anymore. And it's truly sudden. It's not learning, or it's not, developing. It's truly a shift of the mind, shift of the viewpoint. And suddenly you start to be much more capable, much more productive. And you are much more peaceful.
And you can produce such a good protein.
And for the teams, for the leaders, for the first very important is that the leader finds it in themselves, because then they can start to see that in the other people. And for a good leader, it's just to point the possibilities, the capabilities of the people some direction.
Yeah.
So it's so amazing. It's so I would say profound. Makes a huge difference in people's life.
Yeah, when you understand yourself as a leader, you can be in a position in shoes of those people, and you are much more approachable to your employees if you change yourself as a leader.
You start to see it naturally when you tap into it in yourself. When you find where is the source of your capabilities, the source of your skills, you see your potential.
Or solutions for, you have some such problem and you can resolve it, but
it's much easier and simpler to see it in other people.
Yeah. But when you shift your mind and focus on that, as you said, this one, I have this one, this one, this one. But when you shift it, you can see that there's no problem. You don't have problems anymore. This is the problem is in your mind. I mean, in your head.
Yeah. The question is how to go around that.
Yes, of course. So,
and what is truly problem?
Yes,
and
of course.
What is truly problem? And what is just made up stuff?
And can you share with us how listeners can reach out to you, how they can connect with you? You have 2 or 3 domain websites, and also do you have such a gift for them, or free conversation, or free of charge, like a free consultation, whatever you have to share today with our listeners?
So thank you very much. So for
my pleasure.
For individuals who are looking for peace of mind, development in the relationships, just to raise up quality of their life, that's truefreedomcoach.com, and there people can find also the group I was talking about. And for leaders, for entrepreneurs, or companies who want leadership development for their leaders in their companies, please visit brandnewleadership.com.
That's fine, So, and I know maybe you have such a good books, for example, 3 Principles, maybe by Sydney Bank or something like that. So I highly recommend that they go on research it. I will put some links below this episode, just that people can reach out there and read much more about three principles, because it's such a good point to know much more about it, and maybe it helps only one person to read it, some of those books of that of Sydney Bank. However, they will be much more happier, and that this episode today will help 2 or 3 people to resonate with themselves and discover their real freedom for a business and life. That is such a good point. I mean, it's success.
Totally. And I forgot to mention, so, and if you need help with that, how to, set up your mind, how to find your authenticity, on the websites I mentioned, I'm offering free discovery call where we meet together and we can go deeper into the people's, or you talking to your audience, your personal issues, personal stories, and I'm focused, and I'm actually specializing in one-on-one coaching. So it's very deep and it's very powerful. So this I'm also offering on the websites. If anything you are going through, talking to your audience, please visit these websites, book a free call, and I will be happy to meet with you, and we can go through what you are going through.
That's what I think. And also you run your group, but not on Facebook. You run your group on a school.
School app, yeah.
Yeah. So,
But
and you have every on weekly meetings there. So if you wanted to get more, just please share link how people can reach out to you just to hear what you do with your group and how do you share such amazing content there.
So this group calls Freedom Dwellers, and people can reach it through a link freedomdwellers.com. This is a group for people who are looking for much more fulfilling, happier life, much more free of mind, and we are having right now almost on a weekly basis live calls where we again, it's almost like a group coaching or sometimes individual coaching. So when this might be option for people who doesn't have so much financial maybe resources for individual one-on-one coaching, but would like to tap into this understanding and get connected with me, and me helping them to discover their nature, their authenticity, and their mental well-being. So this would be the option, the freedomdwellers.com.
And also, I wanted, by the way, to mention that if they wanted to know more about it, because this group is with membership, is that correct?
Yeah.
Just to know, because if you mention if they are not in position to pay too much coaching, they can pay on a monthly basis membership and get all this content, videos, whatever you share in the group. And run you can run them through the process. So this is a way how they can get coaching on that way. So
exactly.
Ladislav, thank you so much for being my guest speaker today. I'm so excited, like as always. You share such amazing things about leadership, about true freedom coaching, about human potential, and I'm always open to have you again whenever you have such a good project, whatever you have to have you again very soon as my special guest speaker. It was really pleasure talking to you today, and it will be so valuable, valued content today, an episode for our listeners. I think that they will just learn. And if you listen this, just put yes below this video, or just reach out to Ladislav and say I listen you on a podcast, KSM podcast, Growing Business Online with Kristina.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and have a lovely day. Bye for now.
You too.